The first new Puppet Master in 10 years. What about Puppet Master The Legacy from 2003? 10 years! What about Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys from 2004? 10 years! Okay, to be fair, Puppet Master 9, Axis of Evil, truly is the first legit Puppet Master feature film since Retro Puppet Master in 1999. I'll talk a little bit about why that is later in the video. With that out of the way, Puppet Master Axis of Evil is a 2010 horror film from director David DeCoteau. Who better to bring back the series than the director responsible for what is often considered its best entry? The movie opens with recycled footage of the Bodega Bay. I'm not going to be too nitpicky here. This makes sense. Why waste the money on a new establishing shot when you've already got this beautiful one? The Bodega Bay, 1939. Here we are retconning the series for the 4th time? A young woodworker named Danny is making chairs for a wedding. His uncle, Cliff Clavin, comes to check on him.
I need those chairs for the wedding reception tomorrow night. You gonna be ready?
The wedding is tomorrow night and the chairs aren't finished yet. Hurry up, man! Danny's upset. He had polio, so he walks with a limp, which is preventing him from enlisting and going off to fight in World War II. Danny tells his uncle about Andre Toulon, the guest upstairs. Toulon told Danny about his puppets and his special hiding place to keep them away from the Nazis. Never mind all that. How about some dinner?
How about a nice steak and some asparagus?
Yes, I too would like smelly pea. That day Blade is coming to warn Toulon. Or maybe it's the Evil Dead. Blade goes to his apartment, scrambling to get in.
Come on, open up the door, will you? I got the stuff with me. I think the cops saw me.
Who is it?
Toulon hides his puppets in a secret compartment in the wall. This whole intro so far is about 80% the first movie. Toulon ends his life before the Nazis can get him. These guys go in the room and search for a grand total of 10 seconds. Well, puppets aren't anywhere out in the open. Better give up before we accidentally find something. Danny goes to see Toulon but gets cross-checked. He did not see that one coming. Danny finds Toulon dead, so he pulls out his hidden trunk of puppets. Puppet Master, Axis of Evil. After the usual lengthy intro credits, Danny goes back home to stay with his mom. Danny gets accosted by his older brother Don. The brothers then talk about how much they want to go to war. Danny's upset he can't do anything for the war effort.
Why don't you, build a special chair for Hitler? He goes to sit down and wham! A spear goes right into his ass!
Oh, you and your fixations on Hitler's ass. Later that night, Danny's talking about the puppets. He can't seem to make them come alive. This is a brand new, just out of the box prop flag they hung up there. Danny then gives a little too much info.
You know, I stained my shorts when you got me earlier.
Don talks to Danny about his girlfriend.
Beth.
Beth? She's a dame, huh?
She's got some set of stems on her. Why don't you take her to the soda jerk for a malted? The Nazis are so evil, smoke follows them wherever they go. They head inside this opera house to meet with Tomasi. He's dead, so they meet with a new contact, old Lady Deathstrike here. This is Ozu, and her henchman. She's the Japanese contact who's using this location to spy on Americans.
I have taken over his plan to strike at the heart of the American war effort.
Her cadence is a little annoying. She explains why a Japanese opera house is in the middle of Chinatown.
What better place for Japanese to hide? Americans can't tell any of us apart anyway.
Well...
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
Danny is playing with dolls. Okay, Mr. Blade, won't you look cute in your furry dress? He discovers each puppet has a little hole. Speaking of little holes, he realizes he's late for lunch again. He goes to visit his best gal, Beth, who works at the bomb factory. Disney? Danny finds Beth has been getting flowers from a guy named Ben. She tells him not to worry about it and shows him her heart locket. Why does this photo look like a mugshot? Just then, Gifford arrives.
You're late for your lunch date because you're playing around with puppets.
Damn kids and their puppets, always late for lunch dates. Gifford scowls for a while and then leaves. That night, Danny is so mad he's talking to the puppets. He kicks Toulon's trunk and finds a ninja puppet. This is like the 10th hidden compartment in this thing. He also finds some of Toulon's Ecto Cooler reanimator juice. He instantly knows this is the stuff that gives the puppets life. So the first one he brings back is Jester, the most useless puppet. He goes to tell Beth who's chatting it up with Ben. Only it's not Ben, it's Max, the evil Nazi spy. He tries to tell her, but she's not believing him.
Besides, he's not from Germany, silly. He's from Burbank, for heaven's sake.
He's from Burbank, silly. Why would somebody lie about that? That night, great. Now he's going to have to deal with Nazis and werewolves? He follows Max to the opera house. Sure is a good thing there's easily stackable crates so he can spy on them. Oh, even windows that open from the outside. Max tells the spies what he's been going through.
Oh, and talk about baseball. And this is the toughest part. Strikes, runs.
Did Germany not have baseball? Max stole a map of the bomb factory. Danny unleashes the puppets. Blade stabs one of them and Pinhead steals part of the map. They don't seem too surprised by this.
The puppets.
It's living puppets. Don't ask questions. Just get them. Aw, he just wanted hugs. Danny takes the puppets and escapes. Back at Danny's room, he accidentally wakes up his mom. You weren't playing with your puppets again, were you? How can he sleep with these guys staring at him? Danny realizes he needs to do something. And so, once again, the puppets are taking on the Nazis. Danny's fixing up the ninja when Beth comes in for a visit. He shows her the piece of the blueprint and tells her what happened. She doesn't believe him, so Pinhead introduces himself. Hello, madam. These things were for children's shows, right? Why are they all murder machines? Max sends Klaus to go get Danny. Back at Danny's home, his mom is baking a pie.
Oh, yeah. Hammer and nails, all that technical jazz.
Yeah, all that high-tech mumbo-jumbo. None of that for me, toots. Danny's mom answers the door and gets jokered. Back at the opera, you think they'd have a more secretive location for looking at their plans instead of out in the open at the front of the room. As Danny proved, the door's unlocked, so anyone could just walk in at any moment. Wait, why is it foggy in an opera house? Is that how they conceal what they're doing? Danny sneaks in and takes some pictures. He arrives home to find his mom and brother dead, and Beth's missing. Danny then takes some major leaps of faith. Somehow, he knows how to imbue his brother's spirit into the ninja puppet. Didn't they show in Curse of the Puppet Master that it's this whole big process? Back when they tried to put Tank Hankerus' spirit into the new puppet? Who knew it was so easy? Just mix some green goo with blood. This kid, apparently. Danny sneaks into the opera house with his puppets. Ugh, you have no idea how hard it is to find good sushi in Chinatown in 1939. Danny unleashes the puppets. The guy accidentally eats one of Leech Woman's leeches and dies. Ozu's talking to her superiors.
He will be killed, as will the 2 Germans.
Why is she speaking in English? Wouldn't it be safer to speak in Japanese? That way you weren't loudly announcing your plans to double-cross the Nazis. Of course, Max is in full Hugo Boss mode. The other Japanese guy finds his friend dead. Sound the alarm? Nah. Stay and get killed by Tunneler.
The Excedrin headache. It comes in all sizes.
Ninja frees Beth and kills forklift driver Klaus. Ozu cuts off Danny's escape. Just then, Ninja shows up to save the day. He gets killed again. Oh wait, he's not dead yet. They meet up with her again, but this time, they have the bomb, which Max then takes. He then threatens Danny.
First, I will do things to your girl that you have never even dreamt of doing.
What, like show up for lunch on time? Ninja Don then kills Max. Okay, now Ninja dies. Ozu leaves and takes the bag with some of the puppets. It ends on a cliffhanger, but unlike Puppet Master 5, I know this just gets picked up again in Puppet Master 10. Puppet Master Axis of Evil was indeed the franchise's first feature film in over 10 years. After having Corey Feldman play Andre Toulon, they needed a major course correction. It's kind of a shame Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys had a lot of talent behind it, but for whatever reason, it ended up being kind of a mess. It was a made-for-Sci-Fi Channel movie that isn't considered canon. Puppet Master The Legacy, on the other hand, was mostly a clip show. So there was Retro Puppet Master in 1999, and then in 2010, It was Puppet Master Axis of Evil. I'm going to do a video on Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys at some time, if I can find a copy that isn't ridiculously overpriced. Anyway, when Charles Band decided to bring Puppet Master back, he hired David DeCoteau to direct, who directed Puppet Master 3, the first one in the series where they were fighting the Nazis. Over the years, the puppets have gone back and forth between being good guys and bad guys. So now the series went back to its roots, taking place after the events of Puppet Master 3, but before the majority of Puppet Master 1. This is going to be tough because whatever they do now, it's somehow going to have to end with the puppets getting back to the Bodega Bay so that Puppet Master 1 can happen. Or they'll just forget about it and retcon the series for the 5th time. This was the beginning of a new planned trilogy, which they did complete, although they had to swap out some cast members in Axis Rising and Axis Termination. They did a really good job of reconstructing Toulon's room from Puppet Master 1 for the beginning scene. They did such a good job you genuinely can't tell what's the old footage and what's the new footage, aside from the really obvious ones like showing the new actors. This movie, along with Killjoy 3, was filmed in China in 2009. Puppet Master Axis of Evil is the best Puppet Master movie since 4 and 5. It's a film that feels the most like the older ones. You get an interesting new Puppet Master character, a new puppet, and the classic villain, Nazis. Axis of Evil is a great return for the long-running series, and I'm very much looking forward to the next two.
The puppets.
Puppets?